Actor studio, whatever I'm doing, I don't know.
My favorite swear word is old poopies.
Old poopies?
Old poopies.
Did he say that on the show?
No, he always asks what the celebrity's favorite swear word
Oh, favorite swear word?
Yes, James Lipton.
Old poopy?
Yes, this is what is your favorite swear word?
I've always enjoyed the word booger. Not booger. Well, that's how I pronounce it.
Oh, yeah.
B-O-O-G-E-R. Great, it's a giant booger. Yeah, and I mean that with all the love of the world, right?
You see what I have to deal with? It's no wonder we've yet to take over the world.
We're starting in Paw Paw. I'm from Michigan.
Oh, you and your local references.
Oh, I know where we're starting. You know, Brian, there's a city in Michigan called Hell.
I think we're in it, Pinky.
That's why he's the brain, folks.
So I'm just going to start us off by getting a sense of, how you got started off, particularly in the lens of comedy. This goes for you, Greg, too. If, what your comedic influences were in your respective art forms. So if you could talk about your early influences. How'd you find out you were funny, I guess, and good at what you do?
Greg? You want to start? Yeah. Think about your comedic influence. How you discovered you're funny.
How did you realize you got the astonishing gifts that you had when you started becoming an animator and an artist?
Okay. I was 2 years old when I started drawing.
Wow.
Like an artistic prodigy. My dad, I got the talent from my dad. So, yeah, he was the head technical illustrator for General Dynamics.
Oh, wow. There's some precision involved in that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he designed battleships for the Navy. Yeah, a lot of them got built. And,
Designed battleships?
Yeah.
Wow. God, I can't trust the figures.
Yeah, that's man, I'm not touching that stuff. But anyway, he wanted to be an animator when he was younger. And so he knew what it took to be an animator. And that's the only thing that I ever thought about doing in my life. I didn't think about doing anything else.
There's no plan B.
No, that was it. So he actually mentored me while I was growing up. I'm heavily influenced by the Flintstones and all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. Love everything they did from 1957 to 1972. After that, it gets a little bit erratic. But
In what way? What do you mean by erratic? In what way after 1972? Like, give me an example of what you weren't crazy about.
okay, I cannot stand Charlie Chan and the Chan Clan.
Okay.
It's the first show that I actually hated from Hanna-Barbera.
Okay. Well, apart from they did employ actually, the Asian actors in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had a very flat look. It was very, it was almost like just not stick figures, but they were just static and just went across the, they didn't even need to bother to write feet. They just kind of slid. Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Lifeless.
Yeah. I didn't care for the stories either. It was just another Scooby-Doo knockoff. But the Jabberjaw and Dynamite, I love Dynamite, the show itself, but Jabberjaw, I love the character more than I like the show.
Isn't that Frank? Wasn't Frank Jabberjaw?
Oh, Frank was Jabberjaw, absolutely. Frank Welker.
Do you know that we're talking about Hanna-Barbera, our buddy Frank Welker, what is still the original voice of Freddy from 1969?
Well, he can still hit that register because never smoked, never drank, not much of a drinker. So, I mean, those two things will literally destroy your vocal cords. I mean, because the vocal cords are very tender membranes. We put them through a lot. But, you don't heap a bunch of nicotine or a bunch of alcohol on top of them. They're pretty much as good as you ever were. So Frank has kept the purity of his voice.
Sure.
Amazing. It is.
It's just incredible.
So,
yeah, when I first, my first encounter with Frank Welker, I was sitting in the Hanna-Barbera lobby.
right.
And Frank came running in after doing jogging, sweating, and his jogging suit on and everything.
What year was that?
It's before CalArts, so 1982.
Okay.
Was that, did they do it, was that lovely receptionist Pat?
Yeah.
We have all the, it's pretty interesting now, isn't it? Getting to be an age where you have this frame of reference that I can remember 50 years ago like that. And Iwo Takamoto, all these Tom Ruger was there.
Yeah.
All these crazy gifted people whom we saw, oh, that guy's an artist. And now they're, all you guys, Emmy winners, blah, blah, Oscar winners. It's been really fun to watch everybody's star rise. You know, and you, man, the number of times Mo and I sound great, Peter's Pinky the Great.
Yeah, we've signed a lot of your art.
Keep us employed.
Thank you.
Maurice, how did you, what were your influences, my friend Maurice?
Funnily enough, you said Flintstones. That's probably like some of the early funny stuff where I started paying attention to timing. You know, I'd watch it, and I'd be 5 years old, and it would be on Sunday nights in Timmins, Ontario, where I'm from. Yeah! No Ontarians here? Nobody dared cross the border lest you never get to get out? Okay. A place to stand and a place to grow. Call this land Ontario. A place to stand, a place to grow, Ontario. Nobody?
You know what?
All right, Michiganders, I know what I'm up against now.
But you know what they have up that bank? Clearly, is they have lots of crickets.
So, like Flintstones, stuff I started paying attention to young, Bugs Bunny. I was never a Disney fan. I didn't find the Disney cartoons funny. I was never much into the physical comedy that Disney kind of got into with, you know, Goofy and pratfalls and all that stuff. Verbal comedy always tickled me as a child, and good jokes. And so I would be watching those. And then as you and I both know, because this is what we bonded over, as I came into my teenage years, I started paying attention to British comedy. Things like Monty Python and Derek and Clive Live, and Peter Cook and Dudley Moore Underground albums. Those are the things that I really resonated with and wanted to imitate. I love the British dryness, you know. So, which, you know, comes in handy for a character like Brain. All of his humor is dry because it's basically straight work. I mean, he's a straight man. So if he gets a joke, he's got to deliver it straight. It can't be goofy and silly, except for when it is. You know.
Right, and I can ditto Mo. Mo and I became immediate friends when we found out we had this mutual love for really odd.
We started just doing Monty Python sketches in the very first recording session we ever did.
So yeah, same thing. I found a kindred spirit. I found my, you know, as I say, brother from another mother from Timmins, Ontario there, who come to see me down in Grand Blanc, Michigan.
Grand Blanc there,
and
how about a nap, always.
And you guys, I got to tell you, anytime you get to work with people, not only whom you choose to be your friends, but I think the smartest thing I did, some of it was on purpose and some of it was inadvertent, but I'm glad it happened. I surrounded myself with people who scared the daylights out of me in terms of their talent. You know, he'd say, oh my God, I thought I was pretty clever when I drove all the way up. This guy puts me in the shade. And I've learned so much. People often say, well, you know, who are the heroes and the people you learn from? I get Frank, Mo, Peter Cullen, Tress MacNeille, Jesus, Billy West, John
Lorenzo
Martin,
Music.
Lorenzo Music, on and on and on and on and on. And so, yeah, I think we've all been kind of shaped by the same odd sensibilities.
All right, well, I'll skip right ahead to a juicy one here. Now, part of the I'd say all the brilliance of like Animaniacs comes from the fact that, especially with the newest iteration, you guys don't pull any punches when it comes to we'll call it topical comedy. And so sometimes, especially in today's world, you know, people are like, I'm going to tune the world out and stuff like that. But when we're talking about comedy, it can prove to be a pretty vital part of it, I guess. keeping yourself abreast to what's going on around you. And so how has that, how important have you found that to kind of be like in the know so you can get your references and your timing, and even with Greg, your influences your art, drawing your characters in certain situations, stuff like that. So.
Well, you made a good point. Shows like Animaniacs, Bugs, were very cognizant of the zeitgeist, very. And there were no, all these sacred cows that they would skewer. And I forgot to mention all the brilliant writers that we had.
Tom Peter Hastings, Gordon Bressack,
Charlie Howell. Oh my, Deanna Oliver, Sherry Stoner, Randy Rosell were a couple of. And you're right, we didn't pull any punches. However,
John McCann.
What's that?
John McCann.
John McCann, yeah. He's the guy that wrote Yippee-ki-yay, farewell Magellan. Yeah. And they love it as much as they love Ontario.
Trust me, John McCann's fun.
Yeah, I'm singing cricket in that one. However, there was always this line that Mr. Spielberg was loath to cross that went from being satire, and even biting satire, to a little bit mean. And Mr. Spielberg is a very liberal Democrat guy, okay? One of the writers wrote a beautiful song that was, I don't know how many of you guys have ever seen that, I forgot the name of the movie, where Judy Garland sings to Clark Gable. It's a lovely little tune, it doesn't matter. But the writer had Dot singing a very sarcastic, on the edge song to Newt Gingrich. It was hysterical. But Stephen said, that's just going over there. So his desire was not to just go after somebody because they were politically diametrically opposed. It was like, no, that's not what we're about. We can do this without making it mean. And that's not an easy trick to do, especially for guys like us. And they were also very smart. As much as I would have loved to have all the writers back when we did the reboot, I have to say, they were smart hiring folks who were of an age like 30, who got all the cultural references that have changed a lot. And so much so that if you guys recall, excuse me, the Animaniacs theme song on the reboot, the front half was the old animation, right, with the original lyrics. Then the second half was the new style, it was a little sharper, a little, and the lyrics went to gender balanced, pronoun neutral, and ethnically diverse. The trolls all say we're so passé, but we did meta first. Are you kidding me? It was genius, because right away we get that Yakko Whack and Dot are cognizant of the fact that it's 30 years later. And it was remarkable to be with Chess and Jess and Mo. Oh my God, just really astonishing.
Yeah, that first day in the studio was...
Oh, isn't that something?
A reunion we could wait for, we never thought we'd ever get paid to be together in one room to play those characters over again. It was just... The reboot was such a happy occasion for us. And then, of course, the lockdown happened and we were recording in separate studios, and I think that hurt us a little bit. A little bit. It's always better to be with the other actors. Yeah. High tide raises all boats. But one more thing, this is another great example of the zeitgeist. One of the first episodes of Pinky and the Brain, in the reboot, Pinky, for some reason, I don't recall exactly what the context is, but he said, he had to say, Leroy Jenkins! Okay, now, if you did that with a bunch of people our age, it would be crickets. Right? So I had no idea at all who or what Leroy Jenkins. Neither did I. Okay, so... I'm the genius. Yeah. Forget what you've heard about theories that he's the... Screw that. Only one of us can build an infinite defibrillator with things found around the home. It ain't him. Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, so it was all in bold letters and, exclamation points. Right. So I'm committed, I just jumped in, Leroy Jenkins!
and I had no idea what I was saying. So when there was a break, I said to the young lady who wrote it, I'm so sorry, who the hell did you wrote that? And she did that. She came in and she showed it on her phone, on YouTube. I said, oh, see, that's my point, is that when I said that, most of the audience laughed pretty hard. I had no idea who, but if I see him, I'm going to thank him. Nice guy, Leroy. I'm sorry I answered the whole thing without my friends here.
No, love it. Love to hear it a second. I might do one more, and then there's a lot of you, and I'm sure a lot of questions. And we're just going to kind of set you loose. So I guess this is the one I'll go with. All three of you kind of turned your passions into a career and played a big part in giving us all laughter and hope in a dismal world. And have touched our hearts, mind, especially on a personal level, except giving us hope in our sometimes sad world. A lot of us suffer with mental health issues, all that stuff, and it's an escape for us. So I'd like to hear your own experiences about how you guys find your escape from the harsh reality. And obviously, a big part of it is your profession. But how do you find that spark that provides the hope and laughter for so many of us?
Greg, why don't you take that?
And yes, from an artist's perspective too, especially.
Where do you get your views of your inspiration to keep you doing what you do, what you have?
That's a good question. Inspiration, I'm totally inspired by animal behavior. That's something I think of it now. Just they've always been there. The footsteps have always been there for me. I wasn't just me either that much until I think the Joker Book was the first thing that they did that I actually thought was cool. But I had my wrist up as a huge influence, inspired me. My dad's nurturing and mentoring definitely helped. Yeah, it's probably about it. How about you, Maurice?
Well, the world's in a very strange place right now, and has been for a while. It almost feels like we're in a planetary nervous breakdown. And the importance of entertainment can't be understated at times like this. So, I of course go to my forms of entertainment, and I love animation, and I love really bright comedy. I'll rewatch Faulty Towers now, and that'll make me laugh. For me, getting to come out to events like this is really a saving grace, because we get to meet you. It's not that you get to meet us, we as much get to meet you and hear how some silly little way we read a line changed a day for you, or maybe it changed a bad day for you. I would say it happens almost every con that somebody tells one of us a story about a dark day, and how somehow or another, an episode of Animaniacs, it cracked you up when you had your plan was at 5 o'clock to go and do yourself in, and sometimes that's all it takes is one good laugh. Joker always says all it takes is one bad day. But the truth is, sometimes all it takes to turn your day around is one good laugh. And the endorphins that come from that, and the chance to look at the absurdity of the thought, of ending it all, and you endure it. You find your resilience, because that's what laughter does for you. It helps you carry on. So, when I get to come out to these events, you guys give me energy. You lift my day up. And so thank you so much for that. And Rob is much more articulate in expressing that, but I felt I had to take a turn in expressing how much you folks mean to me. So thank you.
is virtually impossible for us to quantify what your support means to us. And I'm with Mo. It's the people. It's the people, stupid. The people that we're...
And with that, I'm relaxing now. I've done my
all the people. I mean, we have actor friends, musician friends who have since left us, but my goodness, when you get a chance to think back and I look at this person and this woman and that guy and this artist and all these people, and your job, you're in the happy business, man. Are you kidding me? And like Mo said, you guys come and thank us. Wait a minute. You watched, you learned our names. Your parents said, oh gosh, you gotta watch this stuff. And then you come to see us. Sometimes you fly. We have people who come to visit us in these conventions who come from Canada and the exchange rate is terrible. And they come down and they rent a car, rent a hotel room, and stand in line and buy a ticket to get in to tell us thank you? Are you kidding me? It talked about a mutual admiration society, man. You can have a script written by Jesus, and by the way, he's actually quite good.
It's Palm Sunday, by the way. I don't
He's
know.
not bad. And $20 million is someone else's money. If nobody watches, it's a fancy tax write-off. So you guys thanking us is a remarkable thing because we're doing something, I can at least speak for myself, that were I not so fortunate to do this gig, I'd be doing it anyway. Something I would do for free. None of us.
Don't tell them that, Rob.
So I won't. None of us started drawing, performing. You know, once the hook is set, that's it.
That's right.
Now, whether or not you make a living at it is not so much the point. It's ars gratia artis. It's art for art's sake. We don't consider it art when you're a kid. You just do it because you can't not do it. And then one day you find out somebody's nice enough to pay you. But oh, we're you, man. You know, there are a lot of creative people out there. We're you. So if we're not inspired by all these people who come see us and take the time to say, you know, my mom just passed away, and she watched Pinky and Play With Me Forever. I'm here because and I want you to make the picture out to her. And when I speak to my mom tonight, I'm going to say, Narf, and all that. Can you imagine how fortunate we are? So,
I'll just add this, whenever somebody comes up and says, you know, thank you for the work that changed my day, I always say, you're thanking the wrong person. 187 people go into the making of every episode of Pinky and the Brain, and including our dear friends, the artists, and the writers, and the musicians, and the directors, and the voice director, and Steven Spielberg, and it's like it's such a group effort to create an animated cartoon. So to just lay it on the voice actor. We read the script and we read it funny and we made our contribution. But everybody contributes to the making of an animated cartoon. And so many people with so many talents. So on their behalf, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for what you said to me.
All right, guys. I'm about to lose it emotionally because I'm sitting a foot away from my hero. So I'm gonna. It's your turn, okay? Save me. Let's get some questions.
I'm more like about 8 feet away.
Yeah.